It's a photo that's become part of Oklahoma City Thunder legend, even though it has nothing to do with basketball. In Sam Presti's office, tucked beside motivational slogans and philosophical mantras, hangs an iconic image of legendary NFL coach Bill Walsh, lying calmly on the floor before Super Bowl 23. Hands folded behind his head, eyes closed, at peace. Not because he knew victory was guaranteed, but because he knew he was prepared. For Presti, Oklahoma City's longtime executive vice president and architect of both heartbreak and hope, that photo is less about football and more about mindset. It's a reminder that greatness isn't about flash. It's about readiness. It's about intention. It's about building something that lasts. But the night before Game 7 of the 2025 NBA Finals, arguably the biggest night of his professional life, Presti didn't lie in reflective silence. He didn't pore over matchups or rotations. He played the drums. Because for Presti, creation is as much about rhythm as it is about planning. The music flowed through him like the lessons of the past, echoes of the trio that once promised a dynasty in OKC, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden. They were brilliant, but combustible, and they never quite got over the hump. This new era, this new big three, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren, is built differently. Same blueprint, different foundation. On paper, the similarities between the Thunder teams of 2012 and 2025 are almost eerie. Both were young, supremely talented, and tantalizingly close to something special. Both had long-limbed stars with guard skills, versatile wings, and unshakable point guards. But where the old trio exuded swagger, this one embodies selflessness. Where the former core battled for spotlight, this new trio seems to relish the light being shared. It was on full display the moment Gilgeous-Alexander was handed the Finals MVP trophy. ABC's Lisa Salters asked about his co-star Jalen Williams. Without hesitation, SGA reached out, grabbed Williams by the arm, and pulled him into the frame. Jalen Williams is a once-in-a-lifetime player, SGA said, choking up mid-sentence as the crowd roared. Without him, without his performances, his big-time shots, his defense, we don't win this title, he continued. This MVP is just as much his as it is mine. And in true Thunder fashion, he didn't stop there. Pass it around, he said as he handed the trophy off to teammates. Pass it around. That's who these guys are. That's what this team is. They're not just basketball players. They're a culture. Youth in numbers, veterans in spirit. In an NBA where veteran presence is often cited as the key to postseason success, this Thunder team shattered every narrative. At an average age of just over 23, they became the youngest squad to win a championship in nearly half a century. Williams, now 24, was barely a teenager when the Thunder's previous core reached the 2012 Finals and lost to LeBron James and the Heat. On Sunday night, as champagne flowed and goggles fogged up, he celebrated his first title with a very personal milestone. That was my first drink, Williams said with a grin. Ever. The team was so young, none of them knew how to properly pop champagne bottles. Enter 31-year-old Alex Caruso, the grizzled vet of the squad. They just haven't been around anybody over 30, Caruso joked. Makes me feel ancient. But age, as Presti would later say, is just a number. What mattered more was their emotional maturity, their sacrifice, their unity. A dynasty built with intention. Presti remembers 2012. Every missed shot, every blown lead, every ounce of potential that never quite matured. And he let it inform every decision since. He surrounded this young core with veterans who could guide without overshadowing. He emphasized culture over clout, humility over hype, preparation over posturing. Inside his office, there are phrases printed in bold letters and mounted on magnets. Character is fate. To build is immortal. Post-traumatic growth. Inform the music. That last one comes from a Fleetwood Mac documentary. Presti's not much for TV, but he watches music documentaries obsessively. He's fascinated by how artists take chaos and turn it into something timeless. That's how he sees this team. A record, a statement, a timeless creation. This isn't flash. This is foundation. Throughout the season, critics questioned whether the Thunder were simply too young. Could they handle the pressure? Could they win close games? Could they stay composed? They answered those questions emphatically by winning 68 regular season games, the sixth most in NBA history, and obliterating opponents with a historic point differential. This wasn't lightning in a bottle. This was deliberate, strategic, earned. Reggie Jackson, a former Thunder guard from the Durant-Westbrook era, summed it up best.